All right, everyone. So today we will be working on lab number 1, Introduction to Kali Linux. If you will have any question after watching this video, please bring it up in the class. So the part 1 is very simple. You just have to take a screenshot of your Kali Linux once you turn it on like this. You just have to take a screenshot. If anybody stuck in installation of Kali Linux, you have any problems, any issues, just bring it up in class. All right. So I have a lot of folders, so don't confuse yours with me because you might not have any folders or directories on the desktop. So we already talked about it. Like this is mainly desktop. If you hit this dragon, you're going to see all the tools which are pre-installed in Kali Linux. Similarly, this is a browser. By default, Linux operating system, it uses the Firefox. So you can also install other browser as well. And very important thing is this one, which is terminal emulator, which is like a command line terminal. And as I mentioned earlier, the file system where you're going to see the user directory, you can find out a couple of helpful stuff directories right from here. All right. So user directories where basically your all the user settings are located, stored. Anyway, so let me just come to our commands. So a couple of commands that I'm going to run. So first is we're going to learn how we can find the IP address of a machine. It's very simple. So if you want to find the IP address of the machine, where again, this is the terminal that we're going to use. I'm going to zoom in a little. In Windows operating system, we use ipconfig. Here we're going to use ifconfig. So ifconfig, and it's going to show your IP address, the private IP address. In my case, this is my private IP address. All right. So private IP address and public IP address, we will be talking about that in our next chapter. So, but in networking, if you guys are taking networking class, you guys know that. All right. So this private IP address is only accessible within the local area network. Like this IP address is not accessible outside the local area network unless you use port forwarding and other techniques like that. All right. So this is my public IP, private IP address, all right? And this is my Docker. I do have a Docker installed, so that's my Docker container, by the way. But this is right now, it is not running, so that's why it's like that. So 127.0.0.1, this is called loopback or localhost. So if you are running a local services, you can access the local services by using this particular IP address. All right, let's move on. Let's see if your host operating system is communicating with your Kali Linux or not. Let's try that. I'll let you know if it is not working, then of course we can take a look later on, but how we can do that. So I'm going to actually, because I'm on MacBook, in your case, you might be on Windows. So if you're on MacBook, you're going to follow my process. But if you're on Windows, you're going to type CMD. So here I'm going to actually look for terminal. This is my terminal of my MacBook. I'm going to type again. Let me try ping minus C3. So if you are using Windows, you don't have to add the minus C3, which is a cap, like caps for the 3 packets. So I'm going to add an IP address 10.0.0.88, which is the IP address of my Kali Linux. Enter. You guys can see here, both machines are 100% connected. They are talking to each other, 0% loss. You can take a screenshot of this, please. All right, the screenshot is gonna go down there. Or you can put all the screenshot together and put it underneath, like under this. Then how to update the file packages. It is always recommended to update your packages whenever you start using it because a lot of things get updated. So the command is sudo apt, which is apt package. Most of Kali Linux packages, they use apt packages. So I'm gonna use apt mainly. Just enter your password. It's not going to show here because it takes secret. There's a secret parameter added to it. So it will look and find if there would be any sort of new update firmware. It's going to update your packages. All right. So it also asks me, you can upgrade the packages. I'm not going to upgrade that. It might take more than like maybe 10 minutes. So I'm going to actually keep it this, just a simple update. So before you install any new software, it is always recommended to update your apt packages. So this is the command, simple, how you can update your packages. Now let's see some other stuff. Sorry about that. How you can find out the name of your machine. So it's very simple. Let me clear it. If you want to find the name of machine, this command is simple, uname. That's it. It's going to tell you what type of operating system it is. But if you want to find more details, so I'm going to type -r, which is called recursive details, like some basic more details about it. What is the variant? But if you want to find out full details, uname -a. It's going to tell you when it was last downloaded or upgraded, the one variant you have. So it's basically, this is the way how you can take or find the name of the operating system. You can take a screenshot and put it underneath, of course. Now, let me just play with some directories and show you so you can have a better understanding how we can access the files, directories directly through our terminal. So this is file handling. I'm going to show you a couple of things. Okay. So firstly, which I'm going to see here is find the current directory, go back to one directory. Let's do all these together. The file permissions, etc., and then we'll see a couple of more things like phishing tool directly from GitHub, because Git is already installed on Kali Linux, and how we can run a couple of servers. We'll see that in a bit. All right. So first thing is, if you want to see the name of the path of your directory, the command is called pwd, print working directory. It's going to tell you in which directory you are. So you guys can see here, I'm under the home directory, and that's the name of my directory. In your case, it might be Kali. If you want, type ls. It's going to show you under this particular directory. It's going to list all the directories files. You can see this is desktop. No, what I can do is I can access any directory, any file directly from here, because I am right now in this directory. So let's say if I want to go to desktop, I will type cd desktop. All right, uppercase and lowercase will make a difference. So cd stands for change directory. You guys can see I'm in now desktop. Like, this is basically where I am right now. Oops, sorry about that. So this is basically where I am right now. So I can access any file. So when you minimize, this is where it's going to go. Now, if you type ls, so it's going to list the files, directories on your desktop. You guys can see here. So this is all on my desktop. If I type pwd now, you guys can see previously I was under this directory, and now I'm on desktop. All right. Now you can, on the desktop, you can access any file, any directories located on your desktop. If you want to go back, let's say if I want to, let's make a new directory. To make a new directory, command is mkdir. Let's name it lab 12. You can type 12 or whatever. Now, if I type ls, you're going to see the lab 12 directory might be created. You can see it has been created. All right. If you are a remove a directory, the command is rmdir. Remove directory. Which directory? Let's say lab 12. Now that directory would be deleted. You will see that directory is no longer here. All right, let me clear. So I hope everybody got the idea how you can make a directory, how you can change or move to different directory. Let me type ls again. Let's see if I can go to, let's make a new directory, mkdir, and let's name it 12, for example, again. Now this is new directory, lab12. Let me get inside this directory. So cd lab12. Now we are inside this particular directory, lab12, which we just have created. Let me show you guys. This is lab12. Where it is. This is right here. So right now we are inside this particular directory in our terminal. All right. I can do whatever I want to do inside that directory, create files, etc., etc. Let's make a new file. To make a new file, the command is touch. Let's say touch abc.txt, for example. So touch command is used typically to create a text file, or you can specify, let's say, any type of file, HTML, bash script. So touch is the command to create a file. All right. Now let me show you guys visually. If I go to lab12 directory, we got this file now. All right. Now, if you want to open up this file, how to write down? So we're going to use a software. To open a software, there are multiple software that typically we use. We will be using Nano a lot. So I'm going to use Nano. Nano is the text editor, a software to run the text. abc.txt. So this is the text editor. It's going to open abc.txt file. You guys can see we can type something. This is just a test. Command X, Y, enter. Now let me show you guys. If I type here cat, cat stand for concatenation. It will display the content on the terminal. Let's say whatever the content in that particular file is, it's going to show you that. Got it? Now you can remove the file by typing RM. All right. Now, for example, if you want to exit out of this directory, let's say lab12 directory, the command is, let me clear it. So the command is cd ... This particular command is going to make you get back to desktop directory. I mean, previous directory. You can see here, now I'm back to desktop. If I type here cd lab12, there is a 911 call in our terminal as well. Let's say if you are 20 directories down the desktop or maybe your home directory and you want to go back to home directory, just type cd and enter. You will be back to home directory regardless of if you are 20 directories down, and you can directly access any directory if you know the path. Let's say, for example, let me go to desktop. On my desktop, I want to go to access directory lab12. So you can directly go to that directory as well. I mean, if I put here under lab12, if we have more directories, so we can put the path as well, like / and it will directly take you right there. All right, so let's see what we have. So we talked about it, how to remove directory, delete, create a file on desktop, access previous directory. We talked about it. Now I'm going to show you a very important feature, which is called permissions. Very important feature. Now in that particular feature, what we're going to learn. So let's say, assume that, let's see, let's go to desktop first. Let me go to my desktop. So you can feel that you can, let's go to desktop and let's go to lab12 directory. All right, we are inside the lab12 directory now. Now, for example, if I want to see, because Linux operating system was initially designed to manage the servers, it's not basically designed for the personal computers, right? So whatever the file on the Linux is, it's going to be divided into three main users. One is called root, which is admin. Let me write it down here. So basically there are three type of user. One is root. Root mean admin. You will see all the files according to that. Second, group. If I have created a group of users, they will have certain privileges. And then the public. So for example, if there is a web page or stuff like that. So every folder you create will have these three type of users, three type of management access. Got it? No, three privileges by default. A privilege can be read, a privilege can be write, or a privilege can be execute. Like group or a user or admin, they have three type of privileges. So basically we got three type of users. So users are three types. All right. Sorry about that. Users are three type. And then these are the three type of access, or you can say privileges. They have three type of privileges, for example. All right. So, all right. So for example, if I want my user to have read privileges only, so it's 2 power 2. So it's basically start from execute 2 power 0, 1. Write is 2 power 2, 2. Write is 4. So if you want to give anybody full privileges, you have to combine them together, like 4, 2, 1, 7. 7 is the full command. Make sense? Let me show you guys. All right. And then it will have a better understanding. All right. So let's say, let me create a simple script here. You don't have to worry about it, but let me create a simple script. Let's say touch test.sh. So we have created a new script inside lab12 directory. All right. Let me show you guys. If we go to lab12, do you see the new script test.sh? sh stands for shell scripting, bash. You don't need to worry about it. We're going to learn bash. Of course, we got 2 complete labs on bash. So this is just a basic. Don't worry. Now, for example, I want to do coding inside this particular script. Let's say I want to write down a script. All right. So I'm going to actually use nano again, test.sh. And this is a simple command, pound exclamation. We just have to declare the library. Don't worry about it. How this came from, forget about it. Echo blank line, echo, welcome to bash scripting. Don't worry about it. This is just a command. Echo mean print out. So forget about it. So how you can exit out, you can see all the controls at the bottom. All right. So let's say I want to exit out. So you need to hold your control key and hit X. Do you see exit, control X? They're asking you, do you want to save this buffer? I'm going to type yes, because we typed it. You want to keep the same name? Yes, we're going to keep the same name and hit enter. It's going to redirect you back. So if you want to see the script again, so cat test.sh, you can see here, this will show you the script. Now, let me show you how we can run a script. Let's say if you want to run a script, how you can run it. So command is /test.sh. Again, the file should be in the same directory which you're trying to execute. You see, permission denied. Why permission denied? Now we're going to see why permission denied. ls -l, this is to pull the permissions, test.sh. So ls list -l set of permissions. Now you guys will see something like that. Now this is kind of confusing. Now you guys can see here, this is basically the pattern. I'm going to show you in a bit. Let me copy it and let me go up here. So this is the pattern. So what this pattern is telling you guys, read, write, and execute is not available. Read, write, execute is not available. Read, write, read only, not write, not execute. So this is instruction is for admin, root. Are you getting the point? This three, these are the three. If you guys see, let me split it. Let me split it. This is root. This is root mean admin, you. And this is group. Since we have not created any group, so but still by default, it basically makes group for you. Let me just use this. And this is the last one is for public. Got it? So we cannot even execute it. If you cannot execute, how you can see the results? Got it? How we can do that? So if I want to allow root, this is root. So if I want to allow root to have privileges, so I need to change the permission. So how would we do that? So I'm going to do chmod. This is the command chmod. All right. And then you're going to give a number. So first number is for root. Let's say I want 7. It means root will have execute privilege now. This is for root. Second is for group. Let's say 7 for group, 7 for public, and then the name of the file. Let's try this here. So chmod 777, and let's say name of the file is test.sh. So let me repeat again. The first 7 is for root. 7, why did we put a 7 number? So it will have read, write, and execute. Go back here. These are the number, read, write, and execute. If you want to give anybody full privilege, you're going to add them together. We'll see that in a bit. So now enter. Now if I show you the permission, you guys see here, everybody has read, write, and X has been added. Read, write, execute. So admin can do read, write, execute. Group can do read, write, execute, and public can also do read, write, execute. And let me show you the result now. /test.sh. You can see your result. Welcome to bash scripting. Make sense? Now, for example, if I change the permissions, let me change some permissions. Let's go up here. I want to give 111. So now what's going to happen? Admin will have read, write, execute. Group can only execute, and public can also execute. Now let's do ls. You guys can see the permission changed. Admin has only read, write, execute, and remaining no read, no write, just execute. Let me just change the permission to, for example, let's make it 444. Now you will see what's going to happen. Everybody can only read it. 4 was only read. Now let's give everybody number 222. You guys can see everybody cannot write it. Make sense? So this is the way how typically permissions or access controls are managed on a server side. I hope everybody understood it. If anybody will have any question, you can always bring it up in class. All right, folks, let's move on. Right. So let's see how we can download a tool directly from GitHub. It's very, very simple. So let's say, let me clear everything from here. So let's say I want to, because I'm already in the lab 12, you can go back to desktop if you want. Let me go back to desktop. All right, so I'm on desktop now. So for example, if you want to download any tool from GitHub, let me show you a tool. We just want to download a simple tool. Let's say Infog. There's a tool called Infog GitHub. All right. So just Google it, infog GitHub. And let me try this one. I have tried this one, off eggs infog. Open it up. You're going to see this tool has been created by using shell scripting 100%. This is how the tool is going to look like. And it is information gathering tool. Now, how you can download, very simple. You're just going to copy the URL, copy it, minimize this, and you need to type here git space clone and paste the link. All right, infog. I believe I already have an infog here. Yeah, I do already have that. You just have to hit enter now. I already have that. So on my desktop, if I'm going to show you that. Once you hit enter, it's going to download the tool. You can see I already have that. So it's going to download that. So once you got that tool, type cd, now the directory name. Let's enter in this directory. Type ls to see what is inside that directory. Now it's going to show you what is inside that directory. Now, for example, if this file is not green, then what does it mean? Green mean it is not executable. So to make it executable, you're going to make it chmod 777 infog.sh. If I type ls, now you guys, and sorry, my bad. If I type ls space -l infog.sh, now you will see that this file can be read, write, execute by everyone. Now, if you want to run it, /infog.sh. There you go. The tool is ready. You can use it. We're going to use this tool in our lab too. So right now, I'm not going to actually go in that detail. So we have just learned how we can download a tool directly from GitHub. You can download any tool, phishing tool, etc., etc. Anything can be downloaded from GitHub. All right. I'm going to just Control C to exit out. Control C, Control and C together. CD. Okay. Now I'm going to show you guys how we can use or access a local Apache server. Local Apache server mean, let's say you can run a website, HTTP website. Let me show you guys. And you can check that website on over the local area network unless you do the port forwarding. Now, let me quickly show you guys how we can do that. So the file or that website is basically located here. If you go to this directory, file system, go to var www html, and I have a couple of things. You can also do the same thing. We have a file index.html. All right. So this is my index.html file. I mean, I have put a lot of stuff, so that's why this file is a little bit slow and different. All right. But you guys you'll see a welcome sort of page. We'll play with that page. But this is, let me close that. Let me close it. So this is basically the web page. You can always change this website. I mean, this website is just on your prerogative. So you can always change this website. We'll do that. Don't worry. We'll make a phishing website for our project. So anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually go to my terminal. Oh, I already had a terminal open. Okay, I'm going to go to terminal. I'm going to type here sudo service apache 2 start. Apache is basically the software which allows to run a service, right? Server. It's basically a software which makes your server run. Type your password, which is Kali. Service has been started running. You can check the status of the service. You will see it is actively running. Control C to exit out. Now, if I'm going to show you guys one thing, if you open your browser, type here 127.0.0.1, it's going to show you that website on the local host. All right. This is what the local host is, by the way. Now, beside that, what I'm going to show you guys, your IP address, if you forgot the IP address, put ifconfig. This is my IP address. All right. You can actually open your browser of Windows or Mac, whatever you got. You will see the website is also going to show up here. Or any device on your local area network will be able to see that. We'll see that in a bit. All right. So this is basically how the local host typically runs. And let's see this website. Yeah, it's still loading because I have a couple of stuff here. Some non-malicious, by the way, but it requires to access a couple of things like camera, mic, and all that. Anyway, I'm going to close this, but the website is going to show up down there. I hope everybody understand. This is basically what Apache server is. All right. So you can host a website on your local computer, applications, etc., etc. All right. Before we move on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear it. and type here Apache stop. So this will stop your Apache server. Your website is going to be down. All right. All right. The last thing is how you can use HTTP service on desktop. Python offers you plenty of things. Let's say I wanna I wanna exchange or share my folder or file from my desktop to anyone in my local area network. So what I'm gonna do? So let me show you guys. So you can go to your desktop. Let's say if I'm going to desktop. So I'm on desktop right now, right? So you can type a simple command sudo. Sudo means super user 2, Python. So sudo python 3. And I'm going to use a module M. M is module. All right. So it offers plenty of module like FTP, SMTP, plenty of services. So Python has to offer http.server. You guys see, no, my desktop has been shared. All right. Within local area network, if anybody knows my desktop. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually try this. And let me try 10 dot. It's still in the buffer, but it should not actually do that. It's still actually, that file is still in my buffer. So we need to see, yeah, it is still running my local host. So we can actually, oh, my bad. Because local host is running, but port 8000 has been allocated to this. So you can always change the port number, by the way, I'll show you in a bit. So my bad, it's going to be right this, colon, and then 8000, the port number 8000. You guys see my desktop is being shared on my MacBook, or anybody else can access the desktop now because it is now accessible through HTTP. All right. So if I click here, I can access the stuff. You guys can see here. No, if I'm public now. So you got the idea. So if I use chmod and change the permissions for public will not be able to access info directory. All right. So you can see a couple of folders. You can download the files, etc., etc. You can do that. Let me click here that you guys can see here. I can access the files stored on my computer. All right. I can access like all these files you guys can see here. Everything can be accessed here. So that's it about lab number 1. If there would be any questions, please bring it up, practice that, keep taking the screenshots and putting underneath your file. All right. This is a basic overview of Linux operating system. I hope you guys get basic understanding of that. If there would be anything, we can talk about it in class. All right. Thank you so much.